So when we talk about prejudices, for instance, let's say that you've adopted the idea that a person of a particular culture is dishonest. Let's just say that that happens to be your belief. And I'm not disputing whether that's the case or not. I don't know. I'm just giving you an example. Well, that conclusion that is firmly implanted in your mind came from a set of experiences. So if you begin to retrospectively understand your own past, you will extract the moments, the events that had to do with the formation of that opinion. The key to it, though, is to not have any emotions, because then you can just watch a movie and your mind will deliver to you. You're going to be able to retrieve those events and they will lose power over you. You're going to see them as simply events that happened, and that conclusion, well, people from this particular culture are dishonest, that conclusion ceases to have power over you. Now, every time you meet a person from that culture, whereas before you would a priori perceive them as dishonest because you're adding to the reality that you're perceiving, you're adding your own personal mythology. By removing the personal mythology, you can interpret, you can simply observe what's happening there and have a choice. Is this particular person being honest with me or not, but with no prejudice, with no personal myths adding or personal myths in between reality and your perception. So understanding your own past allows you to understand what you've been adding to your perceptions, and now you can subtract it. Because if you have been adding difficult emotions from your own past, every time you perceive the present, you can remove that. The net result is that for the first time in your life, you're going to be able to perceive reality as it is. And I'm telling you, you're going to be able to regain your dignity in a very fantastic way, because your whole attitude towards those difficult situations will change. Let me tell you, first of all, how you can know when this whole process is happening, because I referred to it in the beginning of this talk on several occasions as something that happens unconsciously, right? But let me tell you how you can know that it's happening. It's an unconscious process, but how can you know? Very easy. The instant that you perceive a situation as difficult, your body will alert you. You cannot help it. It's unconscious. The body shifts into what they call a stress response or a fight or flight response. There's going to be a release of stress hormones, primarily cortisol, some adrenaline or epinephrine. I mean, your own glands will produce this or release these hormones, and you feel it because it gives you the sensation that you're heating up, that your blood is boiling, that you're getting upset. And you cannot avoid that. It's a physiological response mediated by the autonomic nervous system, so it's not something that you can necessarily turn off. You see, it's unconscious. Unconscious manifests in the physical body as the autonomic nervous system. So it's automatic. It happens to everybody. It's like you're in a classroom, right? And you're there sitting, listening to the professor and taking notes, whatever. Suddenly the teacher calls your name, says, so-and-so, stand up. I'm going to ask you a question. No matter who you are, no matter how confident and knowledgeable you are, anybody at that instant is going to feel a rush of heat coming up their head, and they feel a little bit nervous, particularly if you're in a group where you are not familiar with the other people, the other attendees to that lecture. It's completely human nature, it's completely normal. So the same sort of physiological response happens whenever you're in a personal situation that is uncomfortable or unpleasant to you, or as we call it, a difficult situation.